So after you have your Google Local Plus listing created and you have it confirmed with the PIN number, you want to start working on maximizing the exposure of that listing. And to do this, first you need to get into the actual Google Plus rankings on a Google search, and you want to get high on the list as possible. Sometimes Google shows 3, and sometimes they show 7. So specifically when they show 7, you want to be higher up in the list, and when they show 3, you want to make sure you're even on the list. So in order to accomplish this, again, we want to think like Google. Google is recommending these companies to their customers, people who come to Google to search for services and products. So Google wants credibility, reliability, and trustworthiness in the companies that they recommend. So to build credibility on Google Plus Local, you need to build what's called citations or local business directory listings. This is what gives you the credibility that when you're in, especially the major ones like Yelp, Merchant Circle, Yellow Pages, City Search, etc. Google looks at those directories and want to see that if you're also listed in there. And when you do list yourself into these other directories, you want to use the exact information that you use on Google Local Plus. So in this case, when we have an account on Yelp, when we go to Yelp, we want to make sure that the name of my business on Yelp is Dry Master Basement Waterproofing. You want to use the same address, exactly how you have it in Google Local Plus. You want to use the same phone number. You want to use the same email address. As much information as possible that matches, the better chance you have that Google will give you credit for a citation. One of them that I like a lot is MapQuest. So you would simply just go to MapQuest. And again, these citations actually are beneficial in multiple ways. And not only does it help your Google Plus listing, it also will drive you direct traffic. So, for example, there are people who will use Yelp or who use City Search, and they will find you through those websites. MapQuest is a great one because a lot of people use MapQuest to look for businesses in their area, and you want to get into the map. So in the case of MapQuest, you want to click on the More button, and you want to click on Business Listings. You want to be able to add yourself into MapQuest. Google will actually see this, which will give you a citation, and it also will give you exposure on MapQuest. I'm not going to go through all the steps of setting these up for time reasons, but it should be self-explanatory. You put in this information, you create an account, you'll be able to add your business into it. Same thing with Yelp and Super Pages. You have to set up an account first. Once you have an account set up, one or two things will happen. Sometimes they already will have your information, specifically if you're using your main business. If you're already in Yellow Pages, other ones already grab them. So you have to confirm that it's your listing, and you'll do this through a phone call. And if you're not listed in these, you will then create a new business listing. So again, the idea here is to get as many citations as you can from the major local business directories. And a few examples would be Yelp.com, MerchantCircle.com, YellowPages.com, CitySearch.com, Local.com, ThinkLocal.com, SuperPages.com, Manta.com, MapQuest.com, ThinkLocal.com. There's 10 great examples, 10 that Google looks at. There's probably hundreds of local business directories out there. It's incredibly time consuming to put yourself into them all. There are services out there that companies will basically set up all these accounts for you in all the directories. It's actually there's some pretty good deals out there you might want to look into because it could take a lot of time to put yourself into not only the 10 I mentioned, but you might want to be in 100 of them. Now Google probably doesn't look at all 100 of them, but it certainly doesn't hurt to be in all those directories. So these citations in Google's eyes is credibility. It makes you more credible that you really are who you are because you are listed in all these other directories with the same exact information. Now that you've created your credibility, the next step is your reliability and your trustworthiness. So what indicates to Google that your company is reliable and trustworthy is from positive reviews from all around the web and also from Google reviews itself. So once you have your citations set up in the local business directories, you're going to want to get in customer reviews. So you're going to need to come up with some processes and some strategy and how you can ask your customers, specifically your happy customers, to go into these accounts and give you reviews. They can give you reviews directly right into Google, as long as they have any type of Google Plus or Gmail account. Your client or your customer will be able to log into their account and give you a positive review. In this case, for this location, specific location, and remember, it's going to be location based. DryMaster probably has about 10 locations. So for the Cherry Hill specific location, we have 5 Google reviews and probably another 20, 30 reviews all around the web. Google used to show your other reviews. It would say, 3 from Yelp and 2 from Insider Pages. They don't do that anymore. It's more behind the scenes. But it is incredibly important to get these reviews. Most likely, the reason why DryMaster is first on this list, I mean, we're all in Cherry Hill. The difference is I probably have more citations, and then we have more reviews than the other companies. It's really that simple. So again, the 3 parts of the algorithm is: 1, the location. If they're searching Cherry Hill, the close, either you're in the town or you're close to the town, that's going to be a major indicator that you're the right company for the show. Then Google wants to see that you have citations, that you're listed in the major business directories all over the web. And the third is they want positive reviews. Now, there's no magic number on how many citations you need or how many positive reviews you need to get listed at the top. It's more dependent upon the competition. In the basement waterproofing space, you don't have many big players in the space, so you don't really typically would need as many reviews for this type of business, because none of your competitors will probably have a ton of reviews. But if you have a restaurant, you're going to have competition of very popular restaurants or restaurant chains that have a lot of been around for a long time and have a big customer base, and they get a lot of reviews. So it's going to really depend on the industry that you're in. I have found, with at least with Basic Waterproof and then some of the other contractors I work with, just getting about 5 to 10 reviews a month pretty much gets me to the top or close to the top across the board. Bing and Yahoo also has their own version of like a Google Plus local. For Bing, it's called Bing Places for Business. So what you want to do is you just want to go to www.bingplaces.com. It will automatically will send you over to the secure site. And what you want to do here is everything is very similar to Google. You could sign in if you already have an account, or you can get started here if you don't have an account. So if you don't have an account, you click to get started, and you fill out this information, and it will try to find you if you already. So here's the phone number I have plugged in, and I will click search, and it's going to see if you already exist within their listings. There is no business with this phone number. This is a tracking number that I've created so that they wouldn't have this number in their system. So at this point, you want to add a new business, and you're going to have to create an account with Microsoft. I already have an account. Here's my account info entered. If you don't have an account with Microsoft, click up on the sign up now, and what happens is you just fill out some basic information. You can use any email address you want as long as you have access to it. They'll send you an email to verify that email address, and once it's verified, you can then start creating your business listing. So I'm just going to sign in here. I now have all the information for my client entered. It's a Sturba Tree Service Inc. again. Now this here doesn't have to match Google. Google isn't going to care what you have listed here, but I just typically use the same information for kind of for branding purposes. You got the address, have the suite line, city, state, zip, the tracking phone number I have in here. I'm big on the tracking phone numbers. This way we can see if you get direct calls from these listings. Here's the manager's email address, website. Again, you have the same thing with the categories. Incredibly important. So you can look for a category that's suitable for you. So again, I added tree services as my category. We can go searching for more. It's not going to get into that right now. And also keep in mind is any information that you add, You can always go back later and change that information. So sometimes I just kind of roll through it, and then once it's confirmed, once I get through the confirmation process, sometimes I'll come back and I'll finish it up, because there are times you just can't get that letter sent, or it just takes time. We got some additional information. I just put in open 24 hours since we're a contractor and we can take calls 24. So we want people calling us whenever they have the need, and we can set up appointments. Here's just your description of the company. They actually have a company tagline. You could kind of put whatever you want in there. You're established, and kind of goes on and on. You can even add like your Facebook and Twitter. I don't have that info on me right now, so I'm not going to add it. Um, Additional websites that are attached to this location. You can put your company logo. This is something a little bit different than what Google has. Again, you could browse for photos, just like Google. Upload them in, just like this. Let me browse a couple more, and we'll just keep adding them in until we get 10. Here they have a max of 10, and that's what we're going to use. I now have all 10 of the photos uploaded into my Bing Places account. You can also add your videos from YouTube. So you just got to get the URL from YouTube and plug it in. I have a couple videos I'm just going to plug in here and go through that. But again, you might want to get the confirmation complete before you do all this work, just so you make sure that that you're even going to get the listing. There's other contact information, typical stuff. Everything is kind of self-explanatory. You can add more email addresses, more phone numbers. It kind of goes on and on. They do have a lot of options. They actually seem to have much more options than Google. But a lot of this stuff for now I'm just going to skip, and I can just get back into it later. So I'm just going to submit this. Just like Google, we're going to have to verify by mail. Both Bing and Google used to allow verification through phone. I don't seem to see that anymore. Maybe they do in some cases, and maybe they don't. I've always done it via mail, and I've always been very successful with it. So I'll just verify this. And that's it. So a mailing will go out to that location in Bryn Mawr. Once you receive that PIN number, you're going to come back to bingplaces.com. You're going to log in with your password and login, and you're going to enter the PIN number. And then you're going to be all set. Same thing is exactly the way Google works. So what you might want to do is you might want to put in like the basic information first, get it confirmed, get the PIN, get it confirmed. Once you have that, then you can go in and put all your pictures and your videos and all the other additional information at that point.